All right, now that we have the idle shell, Python shell open, we can confirm a couple things. Make sure that you're using the correct version. So we're using 3.5, point 2, but if you have a newer one, that would be okay as well. Uh, Into this shell, we could actually execute commands directly, but we're going to find it's useful to write our code in an actual editor and then execute it. That allows us to save our work and continue working on it the next day. One thing I want to do is just configure this. I personally prefer a dark theme, so I'm just going to apply that theme. All right, so to open up a file for editing, we're going to go to File and then Open, or we can make a new one. So we get this little editor here, and this is where we can actually write our source code. So this becomes our source file that we can then execute as a module in the Python shell. So first thing I would do is save this. So I'm going to save it in a cloud location. So I'm going to choose to store mine inside here, and I'm going to call it introduction.py. .py indicates that it's a Python file. If I decide to open that file from the Windows Explorer, so if I were to go to that directory and double click that file, it would actually run that file. And you can try that out on your own computer. Whenever we have a source code file, what we want to do is put a header comment at the top giving information about the file. So we're going to start off by writing the file name. Just in case the file gets renamed or moved, we'll be able to possibly tell what it is by the name. We're going to put our name. Of course, you would put your own name there. We're going to put the date, which is very useful. Sometimes the timestamp on the file is not as accurate as we would like. So we can write the date that we were actually working on it. And it might actually be like a date range if we were working over a period of a few days. And I can also include a description. So I'm going to say here, an example of a simple output program in Python. We're going to use a built-in function in the Python language called print, and print is going to allow us to output something to the shell. So I am going to type the keyword print, and you can see it highlights it for us. We have to pass it an argument. That's the thing that it's actually going to be outputting. So we start our argument list by opening the left parenthesis, and now we're going to pass the argument. We could change some of these additional arguments. We're just going to pass one argument to it, which is the thing we want to output, but we could use this print command with other things like a file or something like that. So I'm going to output a message. I'm going to say hello world. So our string literal is what this text is called that we've typed directly into the source code. We have it inside quotes, indicating the start and end of the string. We have parentheses surrounding it, so everything inside those parentheses would be our arguments to the function. In this case, we only have one argument. If we had more than one, we'd separate them by commas, and the end of the statement is punctuated with a semicolon. Now you'll notice at the top it says introduction.py, and there's a little star beside it. That means it's not saved. If we try to run the program, it will save it or ask us to save it. Alternatively, we can manually save it if we don't have a chance to get it to run or it's not running properly. We can just make sure that we save frequently in case things crash. To run our module, we can either select Run Module from the Run menu or press F5. If we do that, we can see our in the Python shell, our Python program has run. It has the location and file name, and beneath that would be all of the actual execution of the code. So here we're just a single output statement, and you can see that that has occurred.